IG, Facebook. What's going on? Get everybody a few minutes to hop on today. Apologize for the background. I'm actually on the road. Had to come out to Mississippi. So I'll give everybody a few minutes to hop on. Welcome. Again, I appreciate everybody who went out and supported the book, Full-Time CEO, The Shit They Don't Tell You. Man, if you have not done so, please make sure to go out and support it. You can go to Amazon.com. You can go to WillRoundtree.com. If you want a signed copy, you can actually go to FullTimeCEOBook.com. Also, if you want to pick up this is a limited edition hoodie. Facebook, if you can't see it, limited edition black and red hoodie. You can go to FullTimeCEO.online. FullTimeCEO.online and pick up. We only selling 100. I think we probably at about 40 something right now. So if you want one of the hoodies, do yourself a favor and go and pick one up. I know the first day when we dropped the link yesterday, we sold about 40 of them. So make sure y'all go out and support the hoodie. Miss Hampton, how you doing, Queen? Queen Whitney, how you doing? Peace, peace. So again, family, thank you guys for being on this journey. All right, so I'm gonna be looking at a couple different screens. Got the Facebook, got the Mr. Will Roundtree IG, the J. Morrison Academy IG, and today's fight. Well, first let me start from the beginning. For those who may not know me, my name is Will Roundtree, president and founder of We Management Services, president and co-founder of Easy Funding, two-time author of the book Credit is King and Full-Time CEO, The Shit They Don't Tell You, as well as credit mastery instructor for the J. Morrison Academy, FICO certified real estate investor, real estate coach, business coach, all that good stuff. But more importantly, today it's all about FICO Friday. And again, for those who just hopped on, I am traveling. I'm in Mississippi right now. Came out here to visit some family for a day, and then I'll be heading back to Vegas, closing out the year. King Richard, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Hopefully you got some good content out of the book. So today's FICO Friday is, here is why the banks will not approve you, or they will not approve your application. King Justice, what's going on? And so I talk so often about, dealing with banks and how getting the money from the banks is the easiest thing. And, yesterday I actually had a really good meeting with a company who I'm looking at doing some sponsored partnerships with. And so as we're getting everything finalized, the gentleman who I had the pleasure of meeting with actually had probably one of the highest titles that one can have in the banking industry without actually being the owner. He actually was looking at purchasing a bank, and did a podcast with him yesterday. I'm actually going to be dropping the video over the next couple of days. And, we just got to talking about banking, and I actually kind of did a topic on this before, but wanted to just go a little bit more in depth with, why banks aren't going to approve your application now. And I know it may sound a little bit, kind of like all right, well, you say getting the money is the easiest thing, but now you're talking about the banks won't approve my application. And I say that because I want to tell you guys why banks are denying applications. And sometimes it's very minimal things. And I'm going to go over a couple of those reasons why banks are denying people's credit application. So the next time you do go in the bank on your own and you wonder, man, I got a 750, why is the bank denying me? I want to put you guys up on that information. So for all those who want to know that information, I need you to drop me a fist emoji or 100 emoji. Let me know that you're with me today, all right? All right, so again, for those who just hopped on, please make sure y'all go out and support the book, Full-Time CEO, The Shit They Don't Tell You. I'm actually going to be dropping the ebook version either the day before or the day after Christmas. And so I got a very special offer for the ebook. Make sure you guys tune in. We got to make this book a top bestseller. So I need all of you guys to support this book. Everybody who has been supportive of it, I definitely appreciate it. Let's go out and continue to support it. And then, any way that I can be supportive to you guys, please let me know. Like I've done many, many times, I tell people, you send me a link to your book and I purchase it. I definitely try to be supportive of everybody. So, I always try to be, reciprocate the love. All right. Appreciate it, King Charles. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate you guys going out supporting the book, and appreciate you guys wanting to know this game. All right, so let's dive in. So, top reasons. Yes, this book will be on Audible. I'm actually working with somebody now. Trap Guru, what's going on? So I'm actually working with some people now to get the book on audio. All right. So one of the main reasons why the bank will deny your application, very simple. Your credit score not in position. Now, we talk a lot about credit, and you will be surprised how many times I talk to people that go to the bank and their credit is not in position. Because a lot of times they'll say, well, do you know where I can go and find a loan or get a credit card with bad credit? It's no such thing. It's an oxymoron. It's almost like a jumbo shrimp. Some of y'all will catch that on the way home. A shrimp is supposed to be, you guys get it. But no, you cannot get loans. You can't get a credit card with bad credit. Now, can you get a credit card with having subpar credit? Yes. But you're looking at getting a credit card with a very, very, very minimal limit, 200-300. And I'm telling you guys that the limit, the dollar amount or the limit of the card makes a huge difference or an impact in your credit profile. So understand, just because you get that $200 approval doesn't mean, it's all good. Now, it helps and it's better than nothing. But keep in mind, that just means that if you spend $100 of that $200 card, you're at 50%. So guess what just happened to your score? It drops. So understand, the reason why the bank will not approve your application is your credit profile. All right. Next one is credit history. You may have a 750 credit score, but let's say that you just started building credit last month. You can go to the bank and apply for credit. Did you know they're probably going to deny you? And when I say they're going to deny your application, I'm talking about whether it's a credit card, a line of credit, a personal loan, any one of those, type of applications that you're going to apply for. So understand that your credit history plays a tremendous role, especially when it comes to revolving credit. And for those who don't know what revolving credit means, that's a credit card or a line of credit, whether it's personal or business. And so for this particular topic, I'm just talking about personal or business, because remember, we don't care if the money is personal or business. We just want to always use the bank money. Now it's really important, and I actually talked about this yesterday on a podcast with the company who I met with yesterday, which is a financial wellness company that they're about to drop a product that I really personally think is going to change a lot when it comes to the banking and lending industry. But we're often torn because one of the statistics that I just learned, that 55% of minorities, that's Black and Hispanics and in the minority communities, are underbanked. And what that means is that they either don't have a bank account or they're in check systems. Think about that, 55%. That's a huge demographic of our population. Now understand that if we're underbanked, that means we're also at a disadvantage of being able to get access to proper funds. And what that also means is that what are our alternatives? This is why we're getting trapped with the payday loans. We're getting trapped with the check cashing companies. We're getting trapped with the pawn shops and all of these different things. And did you know that the average interest rate is anywhere from 200 to 1,000%? Write that down, 200 to 1,000% for a payday loan. And they actually bank on individuals not paying it off or going in a default, because guess what? When you default on it, guess what they'll do? They'll renew the term. And when they renew that term, all they're doing is stretching that out. So the average person who borrows $500, they're usually trapped in that $500, lending contract or that lending agreement, usually for about 3 to 4 years. They almost never pay it off. And so understand that we have to get ourselves out of this situation. And this is why I stress so wholeheartedly about credit, because credit is potentially, I'm not even going to say potentially, credit is a lifeline. Because in a scenario where, I have a family emergency, or I need to hurry up and go out of town, or my water heater goes out, or I need to fix my brakes, or whatever the case may be, I'd rather borrow money. If I have good credit, I can borrow it at 0% on a credit card for 0 to 18 months, or even if the introductory rate has expired, it may cost me, 7 to 20%, but I would still rather pay that than 200 than 1,000%. And remember, the interest rate is only applicable when you're only making minimum payments. So if I borrow $300 and my minimum payment is $15, as long as I'm sending them 25 or $40 a month, I'm chopping at the interest. So the 20% is not even it's a moot point. And so, and I talk about this a lot of times because when I'm talking with investors or potential entrepreneurs, and I talk about how 82% of small and medium-sized businesses were started using credit cards, and then they don't want to use a credit card to start their business. And I say, okay, well, show me where you can get cheaper money, and I'll wait. And so there's not a place where you can get cheaper money, especially as a startup, because banks aren't lending to small and medium-sized businesses in the form of loans. And so I rather leverage my credit and use creative financing, because let's say the average business can be started with $5,000 or less. And if I can go out there and piece together and get $10,000 in revolving credit, I'd rather use my credit, because that's the cheaper money for me to get into the business or get into my business or start my dream or my passion or whatever it is, as opposed to putting myself in a rat race of payday loans and different things like that. And so we got to start understanding how to think outside the box, because again, as I always mention, not everybody has a rich Uncle Phil from Beverly Hills. Not everybody has their parents who's gonna, gift them whatever the case is or whatever. So, so I'm always passionate when it comes to understanding credit, and our history of credit is major when it comes to reason why we're being denied at these banks. Okay, another reason, lack of income. Now, I'm gonna put y'all up on some game, and I talk about this all the time because I really don't believe you guys truly understand the magnitude of how powerful this is. And when I was meeting with this banker yesterday, again, he's dealt with money at the highest capacity you could ever think of in working with the bank. One of the most tenured African Americans in the banking industry. And he was telling me that, and when it comes to trying to borrow money in the form of a loan, keep in mind, there's two ways to borrow money. You can get a loan or you can get revolving credit. Getting a loan can be very difficult because, one, you have to be able to provide proof of income, which was one of the reasons why the bank is denying your application, is because you don't have proof of income or you don't have enough income. Keep in mind, the average medium income, in some of the, communities that we service is $26,000 or less. So what bank, and keep in mind, typically the bank generally lends up to a percentage of whatever your adjusted gross income. So even though you may make $26,000 on paper after expenses, you may only claim $15,000 on your taxes, which again, why we got to stop writing everything off, because it hurts us from a lending standpoint. But when it comes to a lack of income, getting a loan is always going to be difficult. Even from a house standpoint, purchasing a home. All right, keep in mind, your lack of income is also a detriment, because we're writing off too much in our taxes. You make $100,000, you write off $80,000. Your income is not 100. Your income is 20. And so when you go to try to purchase that home, you now have a lack of income on paper. So the bank does not approve you at whatever your max approval is. Because keep in mind, typically the banks will only lend you up to 30% of whatever your adjusted gross income. They don't want you to go over 30% of whatever your income is for your mortgage or even your rent. And so keep that in mind. Now, when it comes to revolving credit, they don't ask for proof of income most of the time. That's right. When you're applying for revolving credit, this pen is, I don't know if y'all can hear that. When it comes to revolving credit, a lot of times the banks do not ask for proof of income. So keep in mind and think about how powerful that is. We have clients who go through our easy funding program, which if you trying to get some capital and you haven't went through easy funding, you kidding yourself. You want to be a spectator, and that's okay, because it's not for everybody to go through, and I get it, or it's just not your time. I talk about today in my upcoming Words with Will that I'll be dropping after FICO Friday. No just means not right now. It may not be your time to go through funding. It may not be your time to start that business. It may not be your time to reap the benefits of, whatever it is you're putting out there to the universe, and that's okay. But when it comes to revolving credit, they do not ask for proof of income. So understand, when we're taking our clients who have either a lack of income or no income, we're still helping them get some capital to get into the game. Because when it comes to revolving credit, the banks do not. Yeah, I see it. Mr. I brag different. I love revolving credit. Absolutely. Because the banks don't ask for proof of income, and you can use household income. So now, check this out. What banks are starting to do, this is why I say it's not going to be like this forever. So for all y'all who's still sitting on the sideline questioning whether it worked, ask anybody in here who's went through it. You know, banks are now starting to be a little more stringent in asking for certain documents, pulling 4506s. And for those who don't know, that's the document that they request from the IRS to verify and validate your income tax. Your income tax is to see what your adjusted gross income is. Revolving business lines of credit. Revolving business lines of credit, revolving credit cards, it don't matter. Revolving credit is revolving credit. All right? And so when it comes to a proof or a lack of income, revolving credit is always the way to go. All right, too much debt. Another reason why the bank is denying your application. Too much debt. Sometimes we got to pay some stuff off. Sometimes we got to sell some things, you know? And so sometimes we got to move some things to our business credit profile. Now, that's some game. Check this out. Let's say you have a vehicle. You owe about 10, 15, 20,000. You go and get a loan or an equipment line of credit or an auto loan through your company. Have the company take that loan, buy the debt from the personal, move it to the business, and now that debt has just been moved, lowering your DTI. Again, it's all strategies, but we got to be in forums like this. We got to get locked in with individuals to give you guys these strategies, because I'm telling you, it all works. Yes, we got to lower our DTI. Got to. And it's strategies to be able to do so. You know, lowering your monthly output in debt by refinancing those vehicles. You know, I talked to so many people who at one point bought, DTI stands for debt to income ratio. Hippie Hendrix, thank you for that. Lowering your DTI, or let's say you bought a vehicle a year ago and your interest rate was 19% because your credit was, not in position. Now you went through the credit program, you've been following FICO Friday, you got your stuff in position. Now your credit score is like a 740. You can go to a bank and refinance, and now your payment just went from $500 to $250, saving you an additional $250 a month, bringing in an additional almost $27,000, $2,700 for the year. That's how you lower your DTI. That's how you become more lendable on paper, because keep in mind, that also goes to your DTI. That lowers your DTI. Refinancing your stuff. So remember, you can refinance your vehicle. That interest, I'm telling you, that interest payment makes a big difference on that auto loan. Big difference. I have clients do it all the time. Or, like I talked about earlier, have your company buy the debt from the personal credit when it comes to that auto loan. You can do it all day and twice on Sundays, as I always say. All right, so too much debt. Now, another one. Yes, you can refinance a truck. Absolutely. Credit unions, definitely. Mr. Bragg, different. Man, I'm going to have to bring you on here, King. Definitely. Always go to credit unions, all right? When it comes to financing vehicles, you're going to get the best interest rate, all right? Hello, help please add Resling. I'm not sure what that means, Golden Tithing, I believe that's your name. All right, and I'll get to you guys' questions in a second. And the double back on Fridays. Absolutely. All right, next, poor communication. Poor communication. Why is the bank not approving my application? Because they emailed you something and you're not checking your emails. Ask me how I know. I deal with so many people who reach out to us and they say, man, y'all ain't get back to me and this, that, and the third. Go check your email, King. Go check your email, Queen. Oh, yeah, I don't check my email often. Yo, that's a part of the level up. We got to start being responsible. We got to check our emails. We have to check our emails. I'm going to say this again. We have to check our emails. And when somebody sends you some information, respond. Even if it's something you didn't like to hear. Because a lot of times what we interpret, we think it's rejection or negative, but it's just them doing their job, or it's an auto response. But that's why we got to learn this information. So just because a bank say, hey, please send us a copy of your proof of address, that just means that they have an old address on your credit report, so they can't validate your current address, which means that they have your application in pending status. And then if you wait too many days, they're going to close out the application. Now the application is null and void. That's why you got denied. It wasn't because you had bad credit. It was because you didn't communicate. Poor communication. They say communication rules the nation, and it also has something to do when it comes to getting your finances right. We have to start communicating properly. I often talk about that never be lazy never be lazy in your language. Period. And so a lack of communication could also be a form of not of why that application is being denied, why the bank is denying your application. All right. So make sure we are checking our emails. Have it linked to your phone. I check my email more than I check my social media because it's more productivity, it's more income coming through my emails. So we have to start, understanding that that's a main reason. And check your spam folder. We just have to get in the habit of that. Remember, this is the shit they don't tell us. I'm giving y'all the game. I put it in a book. We want to level up. We got to start doing some new shit. All right. Lack of documentation. A lot of times I'll talk to people and they don't want to provide paperwork. I'm like, who are you hiding from? You know what I'm saying? Oh no, I don't want to submit that information. Well, you don't want to get this money from this bank. Oh no, I don't want we have to get out of this. We have to get out of this kind of survivalist stuck mentality and start looking at a prosperous or a fruitful or a plentiful mindset and mentality, because I'm telling you that you'll be surprised how many applications I see get denied because of just those two right there: a lack of communication and a lack of not wanting to submit the proper documentation. And a lot of it is proof of address. I'm gonna tell y'all this: banks, credit unions, the number one way they authenticate us is by proof of address. So if you have an old address on your credit report, because keep in mind, the only time your credit report information get updated is when you submit an application and they input that information. So if you have an address on your credit report that's 3 years old and you submit a new credit application somewhere, guess what application they see on the credit report when they validate your identity and your credit? The old address. So now that comes up and raises a red flag with the bank. They have your application in pending status. And as I talk about again in what I'm going to drop today in words of will, no just means not right now. So when a bank tells you, oh, hold up, pending application, we need some more documentation, submit the documentation. Let's stop being scared. I talk to people all day. Oh, I'm scared to contact the bank. For what? Did you rob them? It's we have to stop being scared. We say we want success. I'm telling you, the further you get in your journey of success, the more challenges you're gonna have. So if you're scared to have $100 problems, how you gonna have $1,000 problems? How you gonna want to make thousands of dollars? Because trust me, you're gonna have $1,000 problems. Then you're gonna have $100,000 problems. And then if you say you want to make millions, trust me, you're gonna have $1 million problems. The problems don't stop. The issues don't stop. You just have to conform and adapt to whatever the environment or situation is. And so understand, we gotta stop being scared when it comes to this stuff. All right. So let me give a little review. Lack of credit history, lack of income, too much debt. All right. Poor communication and lack of documentation. I'm telling y'all. Now, I'm going to give y'all some other things that we may not even thought about. What are some of the reasons why the bank is denying your application? You're not a legitimate business. Now, when I say you're not a legitimate business, I'm talking about at least on paper. See, the reason we have the business compliance checklist is because it is a way to look like a legitimate business on paper. When I was sitting down with the gentleman yesterday, and the name of the company is called Mochafy. I need y'all to go out and download that app, Mochafy. Go follow them right now. Mochafy app on Instagram. Mochafy app, and that's, hold on, I gotta write this down. Mochafy. Okay, Mocafy app. Mocafy. Go follow them on Instagram. They're about to revolutionize the industry. Trust me, I'm telling y'all. All right. Now, I was sitting down with him yesterday, and he was talking about how A lot of time, Mocafi, Mocafiapp. Justice, if you in here, please type that in there for me, King. Mocafiapp. Mocafi. Go follow them on Instagram right now, please. So I was sitting down and I was talking to him, and he was talking about how when I was talking to him about Mocafi app, absolutely, shine.utop. We were talking about being compliant on paper, and appreciate that our vision. Yeah, they about to put Netspin out of business. Let me not say that. They really are, but I don't want to throw nobody under the bus. Being a business on paper is vitally important, because I'm not sure if you guys saw the study about J.P. Morgan and how they are actually dealing with some issues, because they were talking about how banks are biased to black, African Americans, and minority individuals. And so I talked about in the podcast yesterday that I did, because I'm working on my podcast skills. I keep asking for it, so I'm putting it together. How there is a certain level of bias when it comes to dealing with banks. But I'm giving y'all the game on how to level the playing field. We level the playing field by making sure we look good on paper, because a lot of the times you don't even have to step foot in the bank to get the money, but we got to look good on paper. So when I give you guys this business compliance checklist, it's not because I want you to go out there and spend extra money. I'm telling you, these are the things that I know the banks are looking for in order for you to be in position. So when you're in position, they ask less questions, they need less documentation, and they're going to give you access to all their money. It helps level the playing field. And so, but when we're going in there begging for their money and not knowing what to do, and we're going in there with no disrespect to anybody, when we going in there with a 610 credit score, not in position, but we asking for $100,000 to start this business, they laughing at us. And I'm trying to tell y'all, we're giving you the game so you can get positioned. So as soon as you walk, if you choose to walk into the bank, you want to look good on paper. And that business compliance checklist, when you sign up with us for easy funding, we give it to you. And I'm telling you, it's companies out there. It's one in particular in Vegas, who I'm not going to name. They charge $2,500 just for the business compliance checklist. So when I tell you that it's value in information, people spend hundreds of thousands of dollars for information, period. Why do you think people spend hundreds of thousands to go to a conference? Try going to a Tony Robbins conference and see how much it's going to cost you. Yeah, you're going to walk out of there motivated, but you ain't going to know shit what to do next. You're going to have to go to another Tony Robbins concert just to come out feeling the exact same way. No disrespect to him, because I like Tony Robbins. But a lot of these feel-good, rah-rah type of meetings don't really do nothing for us. I want to go somewhere where I'm going to get a plate of food, not just get to see the food or hear the food or whatever the case is. And so information is brutally expensive, and we giving this to y'all. So a lot of times when people coming to us complaining, oh, man, y'all charging for this, we got to still charge something, just so that way we can still go out here and do corner classes for free. So we can still go out here and do forums like this for free. This way we don't have to go out there and nickel and dime for every single thing. And so understand, like, this is why I'm so passionate, and I want us to understand that it's not going to be this easy forever, period. All right? So when you sign up with our easy funding program, we give you the business compliance checklist for free. And I'm telling you, it's companies out there charging $2,500 just for the checklist. Just for the checklist. And then a program is $5,000 to $10,000. But they're not even teaching you the information on what to do to really get some capital for your business. They telling you to go build up an 80 Paydex. And I urge anybody on here, find me one bank who's going to give you money because you got an 80 Paydex, because you spent $50 on some ink pens with Quill and Uline. No bank is going to give you $250,000 for that. And so we teaching y'all the stuff that I'm going to keep saying this. We teaching y'all the shit that they ain't going to tell us. That's why we emphasize all of this information, because we know what's out there. We know what people are paying for. We know what people are overcharging for. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Queen Callie, thank you. Yes, Mocafi app. Y'all go download that for me, please. One of my new partners. And so, yes, looking good on paper. So one of the things is that Mocafy, Kiera Real Estate, Mocafy. So, not having a website could prevent you from getting that application approved. I talked about a month or so ago how I had a client who I sent to one of my banks for a business line of credit. I told him to have a website in place. Didn't even have to be extravagant. He could have did a one-page website with just some basic information, his contact information. Yeah, all they sell is ink pens. I like that. And so, didn't want to do it, was being cheap. And I always tell people, yo, I'm trying to tell you, I know what this bank is going to ask for. Had a conditional approval for $50,000 business line of credit, which means he could have walked into the bank, got a line of credit for $50,000 and withdrew money anytime he needed something. But guess what? They went online. Sorry, Mr. So-and-so, we can't validate that you're a legitimate business based upon your business industry, so we're going to have to deny your application. Just like that. So I always say, do it right or do it twice. What do you think he did after he got that denial? Absolutely, he went and built that website. I think he built the most extravagant website you could find. I was like, King, you went a little bit overboard, but I get it. Yes, you can do a basic website. It can be a 2-3 page website. You don't got to spend a lot of money, y'all. I'm telling you. And for anybody who needs a website, contact me. I have a team where we outsource and we can build you a basic 3 to 5 page website, or as basic or as extravagant as you want it to be. Now, another thing, and I forgot to talk about this, is in order to get approved for actual capital, you got to have an actual business, an entity, a structure, or something like that. Are you a secured party creditor? Do you file a UCC? No, we don't do UCC filings. We don't. I do have some partners that play the UCC game, but that's not something we do because some people don't have that level of threshold of actually going through that process. So we try to make things extremely simple for people. Yeah, he made that website very soon. Yeah, I think he did it that day. And so just understand that, make sure you reach out to me. Thoughts on Credit Suite? Good question. So I don't know him personally, but so the whole story of Credit Suite, they actually are a division who started out with one of the very first companies in the credit repair software industry called HTDI. HTDI, they broke off, did different splits. Ty Crandall, he started Credit Suites. Now, I will tell you, Credit Suites, their main focus is selling their software. They really aren't on the credit repair. Now, the difference between Easy Funding and Credit Suites is their whole thing is they're saying, hey, we can get you all this money without using your social. They're helping people get gas cards, period. Easy Funding, yes, it's a one-time payment. They helping people get gas cards, Lowe's, department store cards, all of that. And so I tell people non-cash cards. So yeah, you can go and get a bunch of money with cards that have zero cash value, meaning I can't take my Shell or BP gas card to and go make a payment with my contractor to pay for some rehab cost. And so understand that's the difference what they're preaching and what we preach. We have a different narrative. All right. How do I sign up? You can go to easyfunding.com. ARG for life. Send a DM and we'll get you set up. All right. One-time payment. So I'll go ahead and open it up for some Q&A. But yeah, so those are some of the top reasons why people don't get approved or why the banks deny their application. Not having a fax number. You can go get a basic e-fax. Costs a couple bucks from Ring Central. Or I'm going to put y'all up on some game. If you don't have a fax number or you don't have it in your budget on the application, just put your phone number down as the fax number. Because some house phone numbers also double as a fax line if you had an actual fax machine in your house. All right, so just putting y'all up on some game. All right, does the full-time CEO have an Audible yet? Not yet. I'm actually working on it. All right, what's the name of the company? Ventilator again, please. Chew 9108. I'm not sure what you mean. Easy Funding prices. I'm not sure because I don't deal with the pricing, so you have to go to the website. Easyfunding.com, but I can tell you right now, it's extremely affordable right now. Extremely affordable. Your take on Credit Sense. Malik, I'm not sure what you mean. Credit sense. Is that a credit monitoring, or who? Will Shopify or eBay count as having a website? Yes, if that's your industry, absolutely. Can I have more than one person add me on as an authorized user? Absolutely. How's your Toro business going? Man, it's going incredible. Actually, about to purchase 2 more vehicles. How much does it cost to apply for the funding? You want to go to useeasyfunding.com. King Justice, go on the JMA page and please type in the website for me, please. How do I get a line of credit for my business without giving my social? You won't. Hippity Hendrix, if anybody tell you can get a line of credit for your business without using your social, they lying to you. All right, I'm just putting it out there. They're lying. Banks will always, always, always ask you for your social. Having a website, you got to pay for a domain, and don't you need a domain host? Yes, you can go to GoDaddy, pay for the domain. Again, that's the cost of doing business. But yes, you will. All right, let me see. Purchase Easy Funding coming up on a year now. Had to get utilization down and take a little bit more time. Still valid. Yes, reach out to me. We'll make sure you go through the system. What do you suggest when applying for personal cards? I'm not sure. Please expand on that question a little bit more. HostGator, GoDaddy, you have oneandone.com. You all of them pretty much do the same thing. All right. See, King, do you all get 100 pre-orders for full-time CEO? I want to get my name in here. King Robert, yes, man, we got 100 pre-orders in like 3 or 4 days. So thank the people. Absolutely. Yes, very good question. GTR Mobile Detail, not a question, but the 9/11 Patriot Act is the main reason why every single business will always have to provide a social security number. Absolutely. Plus of the amount of fraud and all of that stuff. So where do you go and get incorporated? You can actually go to the Secretary of State. We do have a team that can help you set up your LLC and all of that. So send me a direct message and I can get you in touch with them. Credit Sense teach you how to get business funding using your EIN. Yeah, you can use. So this is the thing I keep telling people. If you're trying to get a credit card, meaning cash value card, you will always use your social security number. The whole just using your EIN is a marketing ploy. And I've told anybody, if you can show me that you've walked into the bank and you got a line of credit without using your social, I'll give you 10 grand. All right. I'm going to use King Justice credit card, but I'm going to give you 10 grand because he got it. Ask us how we know. He went through Easy Funding. All right. All right, let me see. What is score in 8? Not sure what that means. That's where people get lost. All right. What's the name? What's the interest rate on the cards? Interest rates are always going to vary. But I tell people, when you're in business, the interest rates are irrelevant. It's still going to be the cheapest money. I mean, this is so your alternatives when it comes to getting capital for business, you have revolving credit and you have merchant lending. Merchant lending, 70 to 200%. 70% to 250%. Revolving credit, 7 to 20%. I'll take the latter of the two. And if you only make your minimum payments forever, that's the only time the interest rates impact you. But if you're not making minimum forever, I don't care what the interest rate is, because I already have a strategy to flip the money. And again, that's why people join coaching with whoever it is they join coaching with, to learn how to position and make their money work for itself. Will you do a webinar on how to get started on Toro? King Malik. Yeah, I've been getting a lot of questions about that. And so I'm actually putting something together right there. How do I sell my vehicle to my company to relieve the DTI? Very good question. AC_fit77. I'm going to assume you're a personal trainer. So I'm going to walk y'all through this again. Who want to know how to move their debt for their auto loan from the personal to the business to minimize their DTI? Boom. All right, get rid of cable and Netflix for a year. I like that. All right, so you have the debt of an auto loan. Let's say you have an auto loan that's 20 grand. All right. You have a company. You have good credit. You go to the bank and you can get either an equipment line of credit, or some banks specifically will allow you to do an auto loan under the company. Doesn't mean you don't use your social. Let's even get that thought of our head. Write this down. Go get it tattooed. Anytime you got to borrow money from the bank under your company name, you will always use your social. Okay. Go to the bank, get an equipment line of credit, because a vehicle is actually considered equipment for a business, or you can apply for a auto loan under the company. So you owe 20,000 under your personal name. You get an auto loan or an equipment line of credit for, let's just say, 25,000. You can actually take that 25,000, purchase the vehicle or absorb the debt. So essentially you'll be paying off the finance company, cut them a check, and now the debt that is under your personal will now show up under your business. Boom, minimizing your debt to income ratio. Just like that. It's simple. All right. So I'm telling you, and you can do that with a couple different things. You know, you can get, let's say you have, we actually just did, oh yeah, so we actually just did this for a client. See, I'm getting excited. Y'all notice I can't sit still. I really do think I have ADHD, but I think it's helped me along the way because I'm always on the move. All right, so I have a client who went out and he got about $80,000 worth of debt under his personal name. Okay, we helped him get about $170,000 in business. DTI stands for debt to income, meaning your debt versus your income. And if your debt is higher than your income, the bank won't let you borrow no money. Okay. Now, he had about $80,000 in personal credit, personal debt. We helped him get about $170,000 in business capital, credit cards, lines of credit, etc., etc. He took some of the money from his business and bought the debt on his personal. Bought about $60,000 of it. The business now has the personal debt. The personal debt is now paid off, thus bringing his DTI down, debt to income ratio, and actually lowered his minimum payments. We just had another client, had about $75,000 in credit card debt. You know, this was before they got coaching with us. We went and did a home equity line of credit on their home. Their home had about 120-something thousand in equity, so we got a $75,000 HELOC. HELOC stands for home equity line of credit. Now, their payments on the credit card debt came out to about $1,200 or $1,300 total. No, actually, I think it was a little bit more than that. I think I want to say probably about $1,500 a month. The money on the HELOC was cheaper money, so we took a great portion of the money from the HELOC, paid some of the credit cards off, and that person is now saving about $900 a month because the HELOC money is only 1% of the balance, which means if they borrow $500, their payment is $500. So again, it's all strategy. Always want to look for the cheaper money. That's the thing. We get too caught up in interest rates when it comes to running a business. Trust me, it's going to be times when you're running a business and you're going to have to get that whatever, if you want to stay in business. But the thing is about finding the cheaper money, and it's all about the strategy. All right. And so that's really the thing, family. So that's how you get your company to buy your debt. All right. That's how you get your company to buy your debt. I don't think you have ADHD. You are just passionate about what you do. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you. That's my cousin. And I appreciate you for saying that. Yeah, I am very passionate because I love, being able to tell you guys the shit they don't tell us. That's why I coined the book that. All right. Do you teach what to put on a no-doc application when applying? Yes. When you work with us, we tell you exactly how to fill out a credit application, step by step. Chase is very difficult, especially with the 524 rule. Absolutely. And for those who do not know what the 524 rule is, I don't care if you have a 9,000 credit score. Not that that is even valid. But if you apply for 5 applications within 24 months, Chase will do an automatic denial. Again, it's good to know this stuff. And so typically when I tell people who are just kind of getting started in the credit game, go and apply for Chase first, period. All right, go and apply for Chase first. King Richard, referring to the compliance checklist, is it wise to change my business address even though I've been doing business under the same address with my home? You don't have to. All right. King Jermaine, soft or hard pull? What do you mean by that, King? Let me know. Save this live. It's already saved, Queen Nicole. It will. Hopefully, Instagram let me save it. Sometime they be tripping. I'm military. Have you helped people through Navy Federal? Yes. Navy Federal, they giving out that bag. Do you work with check systems? Check systems is actually easy to deal with. Easier than I tell people. And for those who do not know what check systems is, it's a place where if you owe any bank any money, they're going to report you to check systems. Which, again, this is why I'm telling y'all. This is why we got to go and do business with Mochify, because I know a lot of people who can't get business accounts, get bank accounts, and Mochify is a solution to that. And a couple things we're working on from a business standpoint, because the dope thing I like about Mochify, like I have a Mochify account and I have several different business bank accounts and personal bank accounts. But the thing I like about Mochify is that there's no minimum that you have to keep in there. See, a lot of times some people get insufficient fees with their banks because they can't keep the minimum in there. I mean, let's be honest. Everybody may not be able to keep $100 minimum in a bank account. 40% of Americans have less than $500 in the bank. And so you're getting hit with an insufficient fund fees just because you can't keep their minimum. Mochify is solving that issue. All right. So that's what I want y'all to go do. Mochify is a company that's about to revolutionize the banking industry. And, I'm actually been in talks with them, and we're about to do a partnership really soon. So go and download that app. So business. So when you go in and get now, if you go to a credit union, most credit unions, when you open up a bank account, it will be a hard credit pull, and they'll run your credit. When you're applying for credit, anytime you apply for credit to be extended credit, yes, that will be a hard credit pull. Anytime you apply for credit. Now, people always ask, well, I don't want to pull my credit. It's going to impact my credit. One credit pull isn't going to impact you, first of all. Secondly, the approval is going to outweigh the inquiry. It's when you're getting a bunch of negatives. And thirdly, let me tell y'all a secret. We dispute inquiries. Hopefully my banker's not on here watching. Yeah, so we can dispute inquiries, all right? So let's not get too concerned. As a matter of fact, we dropped a pilot program about 2 months ago where we do unlimited inquiry removal for 12 months for one fee. My business clients love it because now you can go out there and just rack up as many inquiries as you need to, applying for every single bank you need to under the sun, and we're going to get you right, all right? The name of the company is Mochify, Mocafi, Mochify app. Mochify app. Go and download them and tell them Will sent you. Make sure y'all tell them Will sent you, and they black owned. Let's start supporting we always talking about, hey, we want some black owned companies in the financial space. Go and download Mochify, 100% black owned, y'all, all right? Business or personal for credit pools. So when you applying for business credit card and a business line of credit, they will always pull your personal credit report. All right. And the two most commonly used are Equifax and Experian. Okay. And keep in mind, not every single bank pull all three bureaus. So you can apply, check this out. You can apply for a business line of credit and it'll pull, let's say, Experian. And you can apply for a business credit card and it will pull Equifax. So you're not even getting the same inquiry. You're not even getting inquiries all across the board. All right. Did you answer my question about helping those facing foreclosure? Queen Whitney, I get so many questions and it goes fast. I apologize. But yes, we do help people who are facing foreclosure. We don't stop the foreclosure, but we do have outside resources that can assist you. Good, because TransUnion is the worst. Yeah, let's get that TransUnion right, all right? Can you speak more on Navy Federal? Rio, what did you want to know? But you got to be a member or get invited or get sponsored to get in Navy Federal. Yes, Mochify app. Yes, this will be recorded. Again, make sure y'all go download Mochify. All right. Plus, they supporting the book. They're supporting Credit is King. They supporting Full-Time CEO. So let's go out there and make this happen. I have an urgent HELOC question. What is your urgent question? Hopefully I can answer because we got about 8 minutes left. Yes, please speak on Navy Federal. What did you guys want me to speak on? Let me know. Let me know specifically about Navy that you want to know. What are your thoughts on tax liens and tax deed auctions? That's not something that I do often. I know it's a Queen Chantel out of Atlanta who killing the tax lien game. I recommend you guys go and follow her. And if you aren't familiar with her, reach out to me and I'll connect you with her on Instagram. How do you spell the app you're speaking of? King Justice, can you at Smoke and Go Cafe? It's Mochify, Mocafi. me see. Yes, this should be on YouTube. What are the requirements for Navy Federal personal credit? So the personal requirements, Navy Federal, one, you have to be invited or sponsored. So if you don't have anybody that's military or have an access number, you can't get on Navy Federal, at least that I know. Somebody told me there's some ways around, but I'm not sure about it, so I'm only talking about what I know. Doesn't mean I know everything. I'm only going based off what I know. Now, I can't tell you. One of the things, and I talk a lot about this, and I talked about this on the podcast, is banks are real big on banking relationships. Banking relationships, I'm telling you, is where banks are going. Wave Boy Trigger, Mocafi, Mocafi, Mocafi app on Instagram. Go follow them. So banks are real big on. Thank you, the Motivator 07. Banks are real big on what's the word I'm looking for? On relationships. And so the main reason I'm telling y'all to go download Mocafi, because whenever they come out with a new product, which based upon the products that I heard them talk about yesterday, I'm telling you, it's about to change the game in the banking industry. You want to have an established relationship with them, because one of the things I respect about banks, like, a lot of my banking partners that I deal with, as long as you have a bank account, they're actually able to operate a little bit more liberal from an approval standpoint. Meaning, your credit score may not be ideal, but because you have a relationship with them, they'll give you a starter card. They'll give you a starter line of credit or something of that nature. So we got to start understanding bank relationships is extremely important. That's why banks have bank ratings. And the other thing, too, about Mocafi, if you're in check systems, they'll still let you apply with them. There's other second chance banks out there, too. And so understand, bank relationships are vitally important. And people always say, well, King already got a bank account. It don't matter. If you plan on having a multi-million, billion-dollar industry or $1 million business, you want to spread your money out anyway. That's some game. You want to spread your money out in different banks. You don't want to put everything in one bank. All right? What's the minimum credit score you have to have with Navy Federal? It depends. But I've seen people get approved with Navy with a 640. But again, that's because that banking relationship. Navy, you have to have a bank account with them in order to even apply for anything. And that's most credit unions. All right? I have a credit partner on the northeast part of the country that in some of his with some of his products, as long as you have a bank account, it's an approval somewhere in there for you. Now, you can't have a 410 credit score and get an approval just because you got a bank account. But banks look at bank relationship. I'm telling y'all, see, this is the stuff ain't nobody else telling y'all. Bank relationships are extremely important. Extremely important. How do I feel about One United Bank? I know that's a black-owned bank, and I support any black-owned bank. As long as they're doing right by the constituents. Because keep in mind, just because it's owned by people that look like us don't mean they're doing right. Now, I'm not saying they aren't, but a lot of these banks don't have the backing to be able to do a lot of the things that we need to do, but I do believe we should go and still support them. What credit report does Navy pull? Depending on part of the country, they either pull Experian or TransUnion. Navy had their own scoring system too. No, they actually use, they still pull from the FICO scoring model, but they do have an internal scoring model. Banks have what's called a bank rating. So a lot of banks do use their own scoring model. That's why sometimes they can be a little more liberal with their approvals. King Demetrius, full-time CEO. That's right. Need to get it on the shirt. Does a business need credit if the biz owner has good credit? Very good question. No, and that's the thing. As long as you have good credit, you can go and get approved for a credit card or a credit line with the bank. But the personal credit makes a big difference. Do you need to have a strong Experian and Equifax business credit profile to be better or your chance? So by having a stronger business credit profile, and that's Experian business or Equifax business, does help you with approvals and getting stronger approvals. Absolutely. It does help. My business partner has bad credit, but I have good credit. We are 50-50 partners. What can we do? And I was paraphrasing there, King Jermaine. Very good question. I got 3 minutes, so this is going to probably be my last one. You have good credit. Your partner has horrible credit. Y'all 50-50 partners. How do you get the money? Create an operating agreement. Make the person with good credit 90% owner on paper. Doesn't mean you get 90% of the profits. And I always like to emphasize that because you know how we do sometimes. Oh, how you get 90% of the profits? It's not about profits. It's about ownership on paper. Remember, we talked about banks look at how you look on paper. Create that operating agreement. You can take the partner with the good credit. Y'all go to the bank, get some money, and the person with the bad credit, it doesn't even impact the approval process. Just like that. Can I check my status on check systems personally? Yes, you can actually go to checksystems.com and they'll send you a free report. Coaching for those one-on-ones. Yes, Mr. I brag different. Yes, we're going to be open back up the coaching, the one-on-one coaching at the top of the year. I had to cap it because I had too many coaching clients. I was spreading myself thin. I was traveling. I was, running the family, trying to do all that good stuff. So I'm going to open it back up. Distribution 50-50 on your operating. No, even if both partners have great credit, I'm always still going to do a 90-10 split because then guess what? We shouldn't just have one company. We should have multiple companies and get money. All right. But again, that's strategy. All right. I learned that I'm your seminar for dummies. It was great. Thank you. Oh, Summer. All right. Thank you. So family, looks like the counter is coming on. Somebody already told me, Ken, you got about a minute and a half left. So again, family, I appreciate everybody rocking out. I appreciate everybody who went and supported the book. Please go out, continue to support the book. Full-time CEO, the shit they don't tell you. My mother done texted me about 3 times and said, can you please stop saying that word? But mama, it's a part of the title. Gotta say something to get people attention. So please make sure y'all go out and support the book. You can go to Amazon.com. You can go to WillRoundtree.com. If you want me to sign it, please go to FullTimeCEOBook.com. Also, we got the merch, the Full-Time CEO. I know Facebook, y'all can't see it. This is a limited edition color right here. So I know y'all don't want me to be the only one out here wearing this color, all right? So limited edition, you can go to fulltimeceo.online. We've already sold about 40-something hoodies. We're only selling 100. Fulltimeceo.online. And then again, make sure y'all go out, download that app, Mochify app. I'm telling y'all, they about to change the game. Their owners look like us. They walk like us. They talk like us. I'm telling you. And your boy, King Will be doing a partnership with them. So y'all definitely be on the lookout. Yes, this will be on YouTube. Make sure y'all go out and subscribe to my YouTube if you have not done so, at Mr. Will Roundtree. If you're on Twitter, I just got on Twitter. My team keep telling me, Will, you got to start posting on Twitter. But I don't even know how to use Twitter. So if somebody could please, for the life of me, help me post on Twitter. I don't even know how to read it, but I'm going to keep posting on there anyway. So please go and follow me on Twitter at Mr. Will Roundtree. Again, let's continue to support each other. Let's continue to support one another. Let's continue to level up as a community. Let's continue to level up as family. My name is Will Roundtree, Wavy Boy Trigger. I think that's your name. My name is Will Roundtree. You can go to at Mr. Will Roundtree to follow me on Instagram. Again, I do put all of these FICO Fridays on YouTube when Instagram actually allows me to record it and save it to my phone. Again, make sure y'all follow me. My words with Will. Today's words with Will is going to be no just means not right now, because too many of us taking no too personal when it comes to business. And a lot of times we may not even be ready to receive that blessing. Yes, I'm still investing in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Malik. So yeah, make sure you go out there, because that market is strongly starting to get flooded because your boy has been talking about it. Buy his book. Is great. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Y'all let me know. For anybody who's been reading the book, let me know what y'all like. I want to hear the good, the bad, the ugly. Let me know if I need to go in there and change everything in that book, which I actually had to do. The first copy I was not satisfied with, and I actually had to go in there and rewrite that entire book, which is why it took me so long. So I appreciate everybody who hung in there with me, because trust me, y'all was in my DM every day asking when that book is coming out. But that's just a testament letting me know you guys were hungry. So I appreciate that. King Malik, how you get to the 800 Credit Club is you contact the team and they'll get you right. Just spoke with Lamont. We'll be in touch. Will appreciate that. Thank you. Love the book. Thank you. Just bought Credit is King. Thank you. Appreciate that, family. So yeah. So again, if I'm not sure if I'll be doing the FICO Friday or Q&A Wednesday this coming up week. So if I don't, you guys go out there, have a safe holiday. Make sure everybody has a good time. Remember, it's not about the gifts, not how about much money you can spend. It's not about how many gifts you can post, but it's all about the thought. And let's make sure we keep everybody in thought in our prayers while we're traveling the roads and the highways. And again, family, I appreciate y'all. I will talk to y'all very soon, and make sure y'all go and continue to support all of us entrepreneurs, influencers, and small business owners. All right, peace.